Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. I'm back in the sanctuary after spending a few days broadcasting from up north, Detour Village in Drummond Island. It was a great trip and a great Father's Day with my daughter and my dad. So, want to start out with giving a couple shout outs. One to thisent.com. Check that website out. They're doing a lot of good news, a lot of positive things, and a lot of cool writing, I think, that's happening here in mid-Michigan. And also remember, I've got my 517 Living t-shirt on today. 517living.com is holding all of the shows, so you can go there for the calendar to see who's coming up this week. And if you would have went there, you would have seen that Jena is on today. How you doing today, Jena?
Good. How are you?
So go ahead.
I was going to say we're driving back from Nashville, so we pulled over. I think I'm in a Sonic parking lot right now.
Oh, man, you better get Shannon a cheeseburger.
Oh, there you
go. She loves Sonic. We almost had one in Lansing, but it fell through.
Yeah.
So, what do you mind if we asked what you were doing in Nashville?
We just finally were able to go on a little vacation with some buddies and stayed at this place called the Dive Motel, which would be like my dream studio setting. 70s retro motel with a pool and disco balls in every room. It was pretty sweet.
Ah, awesome. I like Nashville. I think Nashville is a nice city. So let's talk about you a little bit. Where were you born and raised, and where'd you go to school and stuff?
Sure. I was born in Springfield, Missouri, or as they would say, Missouri. My dad dairy farmed there for about 11 years. He decided to go back to get his master's degree at Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple. And so we moved there, and I think I was, third, fourth grade. Stayed there for him to get his degree. We moved up to Wisconsin, University of Madison, got his PhD there, and we're there for a few years, and then moved to Michigan because he got a job at Michigan State. So that's how we migrated here.
So last time I was in Manhattan, Kansas, I was staying on the top floor of a Hilton, and there was a huge tornado, and nobody could wake me up. I had just flown in from Dubai and then bounced over there for another business meeting. Mm-hmm. And it wiped out my customer's building that we were supposed to meet in, and was about a mile-long stretch down the road. So wow. That's my memory of Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah. Yep.
So what about you? What were you doing during this whole time? I mean, you're bouncing around, you're going to different schools.
Grade school, went to Okemos High School. So I ended up going to high school there, and then went over to Lansing Community College for a little while. Started the photo program there when they were doing film, and did a couple years there, and then still didn't know what I really wanted to do. And so then I went into AmeriCorps, and I went out there in 2004 in Denver, Colorado, and did a year of AmeriCorps. And within that year, it really hit me that I did really want to start my photo career. So went back to LCC, moved home, and got my degree.
So what was AmeriCorps like? Like, what were you doing?
So we were a part of the National Civilian Community Corps, and our home base was in Denver. We had about 4 or 5 projects throughout the year. So a lot of things like trail building and cleanup in the mountains, to some of the groups did disaster relief. We worked on Habitat for Humanity. So we built homes in Miami for about 3 months, or 6 weeks. I'm sorry, not 3 months, 6 weeks. And then we went out to Iowa, and we helped to renovate a Easter Seals campground. So just everything. We did everything that year. It was an eye-opening and amazing experience, and changed my life for sure.
What do you think was the most kind of pivotal thing that you learned there?
That giving back was such a big deal to me, and volunteering for people that or just organizations that I never had heard of. You know, it I grew up a lot that year.
Yeah. Do you think everybody should do that if they
Yeah.
get the chance?
Yes, I say if you have no idea what you're doing in life and you're between the ages of 18 and 25, that is the program to go into. That really like put a lot of things in perspective for me.
Do they pay you for that, or is it?
No, I mean, you get a stipend every couple of weeks just, for living and stuff. And you get an education stipend at the end. So I use that towards my photo degree once I returned home.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And, I think sometimes, sometimes we're helping people in our community and trying to make them stronger around us. And I always have to check myself if I'm being selfish or something like that and just trying to make it a better neighborhood for me.
Right.
But
right.
when you go out there and do that, it really hits home that, giving, no matter who it is worth it.
And I'll never forget the moment when we were done. So we built 9 exteriors to 9 homes in Miami. And when we were about to leave, a woman that, that was going to live in one of the homes that we were building came up and she was just, crying her eyes out saying, "You have no idea how much this means to me. And, you changed our lives." And it's, that was changing my life at that moment too. So it was special, very special.
You're awesome. So let's talk photography.
Okay.
I know that, I don't remember how we met. I don't remember how you and Shannon met, because I think you knew her first.
I think I met her through roller derby, and I did skate. So, and I was photographing both the Vixens and the Mitten Mavens for a little while there. I think that's how we met. Just hit it off through that, and just had a lot of other, stuff in common. So,
yeah, well, let's talk about your photography. I want to hear you talk about it because I got so many things I already want to say.
Okay.
But tell us about McShane Photography.
Sure. I started McShane Photography in 2011 after I graduated from LCC. Mainly doing, when I first started out, I was doing zombie pinup, which were a lot of fun at the time. I got to meet a lot of people that way. So I did calendars for a few years in a row of just people around town dressed up as, pinups with zombie makeup. And through that, I met a lot of people and started doing weddings a lot. Just, that was like the money maker for me. And so weddings became like, an every weekend thing during the summer. It was really fun while it lasted for about 10 years or more now. I'm kind of slowing down on those, family photos, storm photography, which I know a lot of people are interested in, concert photography. I've photographed a lot of bands around the U.S. What else I'm missing? I'm doing, a lot of nonprofit work for some great nonprofits around town.
So, as a photographer, I feel like sometimes when I talk to photographers, they've got their art side of it, and then they do weddings or something for the financial side of it. Mm-hmm. Is that it's kind of what you were doing?
Yeah, because I guess if you would have asked me in photography school if I was ever going to be a wedding photographer, I probably would have said no. But then it became like riding a bike. It was, it was so much fun to meet all these different personalities, and the moneymaker became the art.
Yeah. That's the exact question I was gonna ask, because that's such a special photo, right? Everybody keeps that in their house forever.
Right. And I know you're going to ask me later on about, the mission and stuff. That's part of that, right? Is that you're creating images that are timeless, and no matter if it's a storm or, a wedding couple.
Yeah. Did you, what was kind of the cool thing about the photography? I've got this image in my head of my favorite photo from my wedding. I've got an image in my head from like my sister's wedding.
Sure.
And what were kind of the ones that you really loved to shoot?
Oh man. I like being able to take the couple and, when it's like that in between hour between like, the ceremony and reception, and I can go out and just take some awesome photos of just the three of, with me and the couple. And a lot of times I get like the best stuff just when it's more intimate like that.
Yeah.
and you can just do, I don't, they're up for anything usually. So
Did you ever start predicting they're not going to make it?
to be honest, I mean, yeah, there were like a handful that I could say it just didn't have that, that magic, but that's, and I was pretty spot on.
So, storms.
Yeah.
You're a storm chaser in my mind. Is that true?
Yes. I mean, it's been a part of my passion in life since I was 5 years old. My dad and I used to watch storms, outside the house when they would blow through in Missouri and Kansas. And I mean, storms down there, beyond what we see here. And they're just part of my soul. So we went through a really bad storm just like an hour ago in Kentucky. And it's a good time. I always get so excited.
I love storms. I don't know if everybody does. I feel like most people do, but
yeah,
a lot of people get scared of them, I guess.
Yeah. Like if you're at a safe distance and you can watch them and you feel okay driving through them, or, if you're in a situation where sirens go off, I think that it's even scary for me too. I'm not saying it's always,
Did you ever get yourself in a pickle?
I met somebody out in Norman, Oklahoma, who works for the National Weather Service. A friend of mine here roomed with him in college, I think, and introduced us. And so he invited me to go chasing with them a few years in a row. And there was one moment in 2016 where I was texting family like, hey, this is pretty bad right now. I was in the back of a car. We were in Texas Hill Country, which is not the best area and terrain for seeing storms and watching storms, because you can't see more than like half a mile in front of you because of all the trees. And so we turned a corner, and the storm chaser friend, looked up and he's like, holy crap, look at the rotation. And I mean, it was like in front of us. Like you could see the rain-wrapped tornado. He backed up, went the opposite direction. We're flying down this country road, and it is kind of like the movie Twister, where there's, trees flying in front of you, and, branches all the way like bending down to the ground. And I probably had my hands over my head in the back seat. It was kind of all of a, big blur at this point, but that was a scary moment for sure. But I survived.
So, I've got my iPhone here, and I took 1 million pictures, and I post on Facebook, and I do TikTok and Instagram and all that. So, this comes along, and all of a sudden everybody's a photographer.
So Roxanne Frith, who I consider one of my closest friends and mentors, she was a teacher of mine at LCC. Whatever she would say, whatever device you have in your hands, if you can, take that and make sure your composition, your light, your subject is all in the right place. Like it doesn't matter what you're using. I mean, Polaroids still work, right? I mean, yeah.
They can be awesome too.
Yeah, and she and I did a whole show on iPhone photography. So it's however you want to use it. I think a image is a beautiful image no matter what. So
yeah, I took 2 years at U of M of black and white photography, so 4 different classes, and they tried to teach me all that, but my photographs still don't come out right. I don't feel like I have the right eye.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's great. Come on.
I spent a lot of time, I fried my negatives once in butter to see what would happen, and that was super cool. I did a lot of post photography processing and trying to do stuff like that.
That's cool. I love it.
Do you do anything abstract or like double images or?
It's been a while. I mean, sometimes on my own. I don't think I ever post them though.
Yeah. Is it a good business?
Yeah, I love it. I've been full time for now, since 2011. It's been wonderful. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you were, I mean, I don't mean to, I hope I'm not sounding negative about it or anything, but you were able to sustain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, when people say you hustle, you have to hustle. I mean, you do the stuff. Sometimes like I said, I started out doing weddings because I needed to, fund other things, other creative projects, but I ended up loving the weddings too. So
Yeah. Did you ever photograph a famous band and get to meet them?
I've photographed many famous bands. I have not met any of them yet. Well, or I did. Well, okay, I take that back. I did it was the Alternative Music Press Awards in Cleveland, and I was working for National Rock Review, which might be picking back up soon. Things are getting back to normal. But anyway, so they had me go down there, and I photographed the red carpet. And so I met Rob Zombie and his wife, Sharon. I met lead singer of Weezer and a bunch of other, punk bands.
Yeah.
That was super fun.
Do you have a photography collection that you kind of consider your art portfolio?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Trying to narrow that down right now, actually, because my good friend is doing a new website for me. So I'm trying to, pick out the best ones for the new website.
Do you ever do shows?
Yep,
what are they called? In a gallery?
Yeah, I've done a few of those. Like the last one I did was with Roxanne, and that was the iPhone photography show. Planning on someday, hopefully doing another storm show, and maybe more. Oh, you know what I did in 2015? I did a show with all my rock stars, and that was a combination of different artists in Michigan who've done like flyers, like illustrated flyers and photography and things like that. So we all combined our forces.
So when you said earlier that you did a show with Roxanne, I'm in a paradigm. I think you were talking about a podcast or something. Now, sorry, I asked you that question when you had already answered it. Do you have any shows coming up?
In November, I have a show at the Catalyst Gallery in Old Town, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. So don't ask me any more questions about that.
What if people wanted to kind of follow you and see when that show's announced and everything? Is it Facebook, Instagram, your website? What's best?
Well, the new website's coming out this summer, so I'm not going to... I don't know for sure if it will be out this summer, but I'm hoping it will. But mostly I'm on Instagram, McShane Photo, and Facebook, McShane Photography.
All right. So I always mess this up in the end game. McShane Photo on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to make sure we share this. And then McShane Photography on Facebook.
Yes, you got it.
All right. So what is your mission? I know you said a little bit about it.
Sure. And, my husband and I were talking in the car. I was like, my mission. And he was like, well, maybe more your passion. That's like a similar thing. And that's my passion, is to make sure I, produce beautiful images that are timeless for my clients who may not see, what I see. And then I'll be able to they'll always have something of mine to hang on their walls or have on their phone for the rest of their life or something.
Where do you see anything evolving in photography that's going to make it like weird? Like I think holograms or something like that.
Oh man, I've thought about that. That when drones came out, I was like, wow, this is going to take over, but it's, I actually now want to buy one and try it out. So who knows where it's going to go.
See, I would be thinking this is a drone, not necessarily a camera or a, whatever, but you would probably look at it the other way, right? This is a camera that flies.
Yes. I can do storms with that thing. So we'll see what happens.
That sounds super cool. What's something you do every damn day to push that mission forward?
I think making connections in town is a big deal lately for me. Recently I met, in the past year, I've connected with a muralist, who you don't know if you'll have on the show or if you've had him on the show, Dustin Hunt from Muralmatics. He teaches math through murals and art, which is interesting. So I've teamed up with him a lot this summer and have been photographing his murals and it's just been, I love that stuff. That kind of every day just making connections and hopefully collaborating more.
I am trying to get him on the show, so I think if we say his name 3 times, then he'll have to come on the show.
Text me like when we've been on the show, so I'll text him.
It's like clicking your heels 3 times to go home from Kansas or to Kansas.
Yeah.
What's something you do every damn day to kind of push that mission forward? And I have a follow-on question after you answer, maybe.
What do I do every damn day? I think it's just constantly like posting about my work or posting about other people's work in town, you know, just like making sure that like, that's a hard question. I think, yeah, it's just the hustle, making sure the hustle's there.
Do you do you take photographs and then start flipping through them and saying, oh shit, I could have done this different? Do you learn a lot from your work, or
or I'll, you know, sometimes I'll do photos of someone and say, oh, I wish I would have maybe positioned them differently, or I take pictures of, you know, a scene. I'm like, oh, we're going to bring someone back to this scene and do something there, you know. It's constantly a learning experience, and it makes it fun that way.
Do you have a favorite photographer?
That's really tough. I loved Spencer Tunick when I was younger. He still is pretty amazing. He's the one that does like the mass nude photos, like where he takes, nude people and like positions them, you know, in bigger cities. He did a book in, I think it was like, it might have been like 99, 2000, something like that. It was called Naked States. So he toured around the US and found one person in each state to like model for him next to some kind of like awesome, you know, spot in that state that is familiar, like the Arch in St. Louis or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's still pretty fascinating.
I'm trying to sort Mavic 2 Zoomness greatness. Zoomness greatness. Does that have meaning? Do you know Justin?
I don't know Justin.
I think he's Man Ray's great grandson or something. No, I don't know. Was it Man Ray, right? That's his name? The photographer from a long time ago.
I think so.
He kind of did these double exposures. He'd put 2 negatives on each other and then do stuff like that. And that was kind of my inspiration. And then everybody says Ansel Adams, right? If they don't know photography, but
yeah, he's a wonderful photographer.
Yeah. So you have, you study your own stuff. You've got some people that you kind of are your favorites, and you have mentors you had mentioned. Mm-hmm. How else do you still take classes? Are there new techniques being developed as technology develops?
So I was just having a conversation this weekend with friends. They asked me like what program, you know, we were talking about programs I use for editing. I said I'm still on the like, you know, basic Photoshop. I will not say it. People will gasp, but you know, I'm gonna have to take a weekend class soon to like, you know, brush up on Photoshop skills that I, you know, because I'm in the CS whatever creative suite still, and I think we're now way ahead of that. So yeah, we'll figure it out.
Do you what was I gonna say? Do you still use film?
Yeah, here and there. I haven't. I have like 5 rolls I haven't developed yet since I took some over quarantine, just to like brush up on something new. So I'm excited to see what I took because I can't remember now.
Do you have a darkroom or do you have them processed?
Nope. I just the camera shop in Lansing, it's actually called the Camera Shop. They develop. So.
Do they develop black and white too?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They do.
Do you ever take in black and white?
Yep, I sure do. That's actually 2 of the rolls that I have were in black and white. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So we daisy chain these shows together, and yesterday on the show was my dad for Father's Day, and what he wanted to ask you was, is there a photograph that you are most proud of?
Oh man, that's so hard. I think the one I'm most proud of would have been my first storm chasing trip, and we didn't see any tornadoes that trip. And I've seen them after that. And those were, most people think I would say a tornado picture, and that was such an experience in itself. But one of the last days that I was there, that first trip, we were trying to get ahead of the storm, and on the other side of the storm was this dust storm in Kansas, and they're like, okay, we have like 5 minutes to get out of the car, set up a tripod and shoot, so like do what you can. So got out, got my tripod all set up, and I just started shooting at like, I pointed the lens down this dirt road, and it was just like this really like super vast scene with no trees and just really pretty dark sky. And I had the shutter open for like 5 seconds at a time, and within one of the times that I had it open, a lightning bolt struck, and I was like, oh my gosh. And the storm chaser friend looks over, he's like, did you get that? And then on my screen, it went straight down that dirt road. I mean, the bolt is like exactly like positioned, in the middle of the road. And it was just one of those moments where I said, it's a strike of good luck, So,
I was going to bring up that word luck. Did you feel lucky, or did you feel like I knew that something was going to, not that you knew that something was going to happen, but you were prepared for something?
Prepared for it. Yeah. I was like, well, if anything strikes this way, it'll be, cool with the dirt road. Because everybody else was like, shooting in the field. And I just, so it was about half and half, I think.
Yeah. I think that sometimes luck is defined as preparation meeting opportunity.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So, and I've often said the harder I work, the luckier I get, but that's a white privilege thing to say. I'm kind of feeding that out of my vocabulary now.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Justin Ray is still asking us things. I'll come back to that in a second.
Okay.
Tomorrow on the show, I've got Melanie McNamara, and she has Melanie McNamara coaching. I don't know her that well yet, so hopefully we'll get to know each other tomorrow. But what question would you like me to pass on to her?
Sure. Melanie, I'm curious, after, a whole year, well, it seems like a whole year in quarantine, what are you most excited about this year? Like what gets you going?
When you asked that earlier, I was thinking about it and thinking, man, everything that I can think about is about work and the Fledge and all of that, because I'm so excited to get moving again. Yeah, exactly. But I need to think about what I personally would like to do, because I got some things on my list I'd like to get done as well.
Sure.
What about you? What would you like to do?
Oh man, more storm chasing now that we've been talking about it, and then just going through the storms today. Just like I forget how much excitement that is for me. So I want to kind of plan that out again.
Yeah. And Justin said he might have sounded pretentious, but you did not sound pretentious at all, Justin. Don't worry about that. And then Dawn said that she just looked up your lightning dirt road photo, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Do you know Dawn?
I don't.
She's with Ellie's Place, so she does great work too.
I did a project at Ellie's Place when I was in school for a summer. When Roxanne's class, she had a social documentary class, and I did a little project with them. They were wonderful.
Yeah. So, happiness, sadness, joy, or hope?
I'm gonna go with happiness. There's been too much sadness lately. Let's go with happiness.
So what is happiness to you? I mean, I think sometimes everyone has a different definition of what that can mean for them.
And I think it's changed this last year too. I think now happiness to me, I mean, it could just be going a walk around the neighborhood and with my dogs and my husband, and that's what makes me smile. And knowing that we are able to do that.
Yeah, I think that happiness became much more simple for me this last year. Like, it was this complicated web before, and now it's just these 7 people. Mm-hmm. That's who I care about. That's who make me happy, and I'm gonna focus on them.
Yeah,
my family, of course.
Yeah, love it.
So,
and congrats on your daughter's recent graduation. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's gonna move to Los Angeles, though.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Breaking our heart.
Oh,
no, we're happy. We're happy.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of the wrap, man. Cool. The show's pretty easy and fast, and I know you guys are on the road, so I was driving for half the time you're going to have to drive yesterday, and so I want to keep you guys moving again too.
It's a nice little break.
But where did Dawn look that photo up?
I don't know. Where did she look it up? Maybe my old
I guess I should ask her, but where is it? I want to send somebody to somewhere.
Yeah, you can send everyone to my Instagram page is McShane Photo.
Okay.
And then my Facebook business page is McShane Photography.
All right. And I posted, she Googled and found the website.
Sweet.
Don't go to her website. She's redoing it.
Well, I'm redoing it. It'll be, hopefully done this summer. So.
But thank you, Dawn. And I'm going to look that up too, because I bet you it's pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for taking time out of your drive. And I know that you had planned it and all of that, but I still want to be polite and let you keep going.
Okay.
And tomorrow we'll be learning about Melanie McNamara. So tune in tomorrow for Every Damn Day. And it's Every Damn Day at 2. We were at episode 283 today. So 82 more to go before we hit our 1 year mark and stop and do something else. So to me, this is like going out and I'm shooting a bunch of rolls of film. And I haven't got them developed yet. So even the show is published and all of that. I can't wait to see what I can do next year with all of the content.
I love it. What you're doing. Thank you.
Well, what would you like to take us out with?
Oh man, I wish I had some like music to play, or just like play some Thin Lizzy or something.
Well, you can sing, right?
No, I can't. I just thank you for having me on. Thanks for everybody that's been watching today. I hope to see some new followers, and I'm just excited to see everybody in person this summer. I've missed you all.
It's going to be exciting.
Awesome.
All right, everyone. That's a wrap. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Jena. Have a safe trip, and we'll see you soon.